Welcome to Finding Monster Right, the show about finding monsters, right?
Right.
I'm Allie.
I'm Adam.
Sit there quietly and wait. Okay, and then it goes into more of a thing. Hey! We're in the same room again.
Yes, we are. And
Yeah.
it's time to Kong.
It's time to...
It's time to GXK.
Mm-hmm. Godzilla x Kong. Will they kiss?
We have seen the movie mere hours ago.
Yes. And we have one question. Do you want to sing this like a hymn in like a falsetto voice as like a joke?
Sure. Thy kingdom, Kong.
Godzilla dawn.
Can a kaiju movie work with no humans? Yeah, a classic rebuttal to the MonsterVerse movies is that there's too many peeps out there.
Well, you hear that about every movie, like Transformers and stuff. It's like, oh, what are all these dumb human characters? Just give me the robots.
Yeah.
Just give me the monsters.
I want a movie that's just the robots, just the monsters, and people don't realize that is actually terrible.
Yeah, it's like, okay, put up or shut up. Do you want to see a giant monkey just kind of emote for 3 hours?
Yeah, it's kind of like having ice cream for every meal. Like, you get pretty sick of it after a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the short episode this week.
Yeah, right. Thanks for listening, motherfuckers. Bye.
No, to kick off our second annual Ape-ril.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking monkeys. We're talking our boy Kong. We're going to talk a little bit about this new movie, and a lot of bit about, what would the movie actually look like if there were no people in it?
Yeah.
What would all the movies look like without them? So, yeah, we saw it at my local AMC. Wednesday, 4:15 showing. The week after it debuted, rainy. We were the only people in theater.
Yep, we had a private Finding Monster Right screening for this movie. Now that Kaiju Weekly isn't on anymore, are we in charge? Are we the king and queen of the Hollow Earth and the regular Earth of the monster of the Kaiju podcast world?
I think so. Maybe they went back to the sea.
Fuck yeah!
Like they're hiding out there somewhere to be awoken in a future sequel. But for us, no, we have the crown. Fun theater experience.
Yeah.
I thought because it was just us and shouting at the various monkey nonsense that was happening.
Yeah, we saw the trailers, and the first one was for Despicable Me 3. No, 5?
4.
4. Why did not just split it? And like...
They did that, like, dramatic pop song version.
They did 15 pop songs in this 1 minute long trailer, and one of them was Hall & Oates and Maneater, and it was like, oh, here she comes. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy. Watch out, boy. Oh, here she comes. And then, like, it was like in theaters this Millennium's Day. And then, like they'd never dropped, like, she's a man-eater.
Yeah, and that was your specific complaint to me in that moment. You said, where's the man-eater?
Yeah.
Where's the man-eater?
Where is the man... They don't get the reference yet.
Yeah, you'll get it soon.
Yeah. But then a trailer for a movie that I forget the name of, but it's Zendaya's in it.
Yeah, it's the Zendaya tennis movie.
Yeah. And that trailer comes up, and what song is in that trailer? But, like, she's a man-eater. A man-eater.
Yeah, it was like the next song beat that we heard was like the completion, and we were just aghast. We're like, the movie can't get better than this.
I was like, best cinematic experience of the year. Yes. But the movie did get better than that, though. I turned to you multiple times, and I was like, is this movie good? Is this movie good? Is this movie good?
Yeah.
This movie is good.
It delivers. It's a lot of fun. I saw a chart of all the different audience ratings of the movies as it goes through time, and they each get better and better. And I think that's because they get more accustomed to what they're going for. They deliver what they promise, and this movie I think has the least humans of them so far. But it's it's Kong once again is the hero.
Yeah.
Once again is the protagonist of the film, like in Kong vs. Godzilla.
I went into this movie with like very low expectations.
Mhm.
Because, like, I saw this one review that was like, it's a movie made to overstimulate 10-year-olds. And, like, they didn't do enough CGI to convey gravitas to the monster fights. And it's like, so were you overstimulated or understimulated there,
Yeah.
Chief? Because when I go into, you know what, I went into the movie kind of expecting big lizard fight big monkey, and that's what I got. It's
Yeah.
like,
The note that they answered was like, can there be more monster fights? And they said, yeah, sure.
yeah, I watched My Dinner with Andre before this just to kind of like cleanse the hell out of my palate, and holy shit. But it's
Yeah.
like, you go into the, like, I am so stuck on this critic because it's like, the movie's called Bag of Jelly Beans, and on the poster is a bag and some jelly beans. You go into the theater, they hand you a bag of jelly beans, and this guy's like, this isn't chicken bolognese. I know, it's a bag of jelly beans, but you can't put chicken bolognese out in a bowl for Easter.
Yeah, yeah. And it's one of those things where it's just like, monkeys fight lizards.
It's happened before. It'll happen again. Look out.
Yeah, it delivers well, and it does exactly what it says that's going to do. And it should, I think they've taken the notes.
Yeah.
I think they've said like, oh yeah, more fights. Okay, we love Kong. Give us more of him.
Mhm.
They celebrate April correctly.
Yeah. There was a bit where, like, there was a
We got monkeys with weapons.
there was a bit
Not a gun yet. Soon.
There was a bit where Kong rode on Godzilla, and bad guy Kong, because there's a bad guy Kong in this, rides on like the white toothless How to Train Your Dragon to Godzilla's regular How to Train Your Dragon. And like they both charged into battle, and like Godzilla fought the ice dragon and Kong fought the other Kong, and
They
then
had like a Super Smash Brothers fights on giant floating rocks.
a zero gravity thing switched, and like they split apart, and we were like, oh, I guess they just kind of teased up that fight with the cool trailer shot, but then didn't do anything. And then like they started fighting. It was a Godzilla fight in zero gravity, and I was like, hey, this movie's good. Like that was the moment where it switched for me.
Yeah, no, there was hints at it before. King Kong is just a full on like just tired of the shits.
Yeah.
like dad protagonist.
Well, I thought that like
he has a straight up Last of Us like child.
Well, like Godzilla versus Kong had like a real like boxing match kind of energy to it, where it's like who's gonna win, and it was like a whole thing.
Mm.
And like with this, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be friends and they're gonna fight Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Except like I was thoroughly entertained the whole time though. Like
portals kept opening up near giant monuments and stuff like that. So of course we got to get that clearing out the path for there.
A giant blue beam shot into the sky, and I didn't even mind.
Yeah, right.
Like
so, these movies they got something right. I was comparing it in my mind to like other big blockbusters that this franchise has kind of outlived, like your Jurassic Worlds and stuff like that. And there's something just a little more digestible about it. Your Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the human characters are the worst aspects, of course.
Yeah.
But even them, like, the movie puts them deeply, they tuck them into the back seat and strap them up for when the monsters are owning the show.
I think that's a good spot for them.
Yeah.
But, like...
So let's say they were strapped up back there, and their ship was jettisoned off out of the hollow earth, or out of the hollow earth, and we're left with just the monkeys and the Godzillas to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a good movie?
I think so.
I think this movie would be about 30 minutes shorter. That's it.
Yeah.
One of the things that you caught on to really quickly in the movie was the various call-outs to our podcast.
Yeah, they watched our podcasts, for sure.
They clearly listened to a couple episodes. Was it Godzilla on Zillow? Right. We posited that Godzilla would love to live in a stadium.
Yeah.
Godzilla curls up in the Colosseum of Rome.
Yeah, we said that Godzilla's apartment would be like a whole sports stadium, and it's the sportsest of stadiums, the Colosseum.
Yes. And then, what else? The nerdy podcaster character does an ad read that you were very jealous of.
I stood up and nearly walked out of the theater, just like, anyone can get sponsored but us. There's a bit where he was like, we have a recording going on in progress, and it's like, you can edit.
Yeah, that was the big, like, Gen Xer writer, like idea of a podcaster.
Yeah.
That stuff going on. He, like, goes around with a camera later.
Right, like...
like no one wouldn't just use their phone.
Like, this will look great for my podcast.
For my blog. Like, I can't wait to share this on my blog.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was not the most annoying of the humans.
He was...
That made the other humans more tolerable.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know, because that one crunchy dude was kind of annoying, too.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting bit by a mosquito, and he was like, it's okay, only the females drink blood. It's for their eggs. She needs it more than me. Bye-bye, mosquito. And, like, I've worked with entomologists in the field before, and, like, 100% it'd be like, oh, well, only the females suck blood because they need it to feed their eggs. Sucks to suck.
Yeah.
Law of the jungle.
Right. So that's that should have been how it went down. I was hoping that he would contract some kind of, evil, some primordial virus.
Yeah, like a giant virus that's like 50 times the size of a regular virus. You see it going around under his skin.
Yeah, they've got electric, they've got electric eel dragons flying around, but the mosquitoes are regular, I guess.
Yeah, the mosquitoes are regular, the viruses are regular. I was hoping that, like, it was just giant, like, just like, the bacteriophage with, like, the diamond head and, like, the long body and the legs?
Mm-hmm.
Just picture, like something like that, just, like, crawling around under somebody's skin and just, like, goes up over his face, like, what do you mean I gotta wear a mask? Just goes away.
Yeah.
Kermit the Anti-Masker.
He also had a shout out to Ancient Aliens that you're like, they have heard our show.
Yeah, they've heard our show. It's just oh, well, that was the other thing. After they showed Godzilla curling up in his apartment, where he starts the movie and goes after the movie. Like, that's where he lives now. He lives in the Coliseum.
Yeah, that's his friend's apartment he keeps going back to.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's just his apartment. Any apartment Godzilla's in automatically becomes Godzilla's apartment. Yeah. But, like, afterwards, they mentioned, like, Kong went out looking for a mate again. He's lonely. Oh, well, I don't think there's any chance of that unless he's into interspecies romance. And I'm like, they've watched our show.
Yeah, that's our soft tagline. Mm-hmm. The show about interspecies romance.
Right.
But back, that the only romance here, because there are no humans.
Right. If we're taking humans out of the equation here.
Yes. Fully removed from this project. Instead, it's just animals talking to each other. And I think the movie that we just saw would be pretty easy for that. Yeah. Because, and I was pointing this out, it's like, there's no dialogue happening between all the apes.
Yeah, well, okay, so Kong goes into the hollow Earth.
Yeah.
The hollow Earth within the hollow Earth.
We need to go deeper.
Yeah, and he sees, like, a bunch of other Kongs who are just out and they have a society, but it's a bad society.
Yeah, it's just Egypt slaves is essentially what they are.
Yeah, they're stacking up rocks for some nebulous purpose. There's, like, there's a volcano. Mm-hmm. For some reason, and
and they it's the rescue one of them, another one shouts at you, and here's the leader. He's got a whip.
He's got a whip made out of a spine with a crystal on the end, and he's got scars on it, and also the crystal controls a big ice dragon that they've got chained up in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like they made a society, and the first thing they made was slavery. So bad on you, ape kind.
I mean, I think it was just this one ape who is the problem, and it was just one bad guy that if you kill him, society is fixed. Like how movies?
Ape not kind.
Ape not kind.
Yeah, it's funny, because Kong is good. So he shows up in the end to control, and now he's the king.
Yeah, he shows up in the end with they've killed the bad guy, and they've freed the ice dragon.
Our words are not doing this movie justice. You should see it. Don't be like the people that weren't there at the theater today.
Yeah,
this movie deserves a fan affair. I don't think they're planning any other ones at the moment.
It was also incredible because it was like all of the fights and every fight that happened, I was like, yeah, just like the dumbest shit would happen. King Kong's got like a construction truck gauntlet that he wears that he can use to thunder punch now, and he's got that and the axe, and a baby shows up, like a giant 40-foot tall baby with weirdly green cat eyes and red fur.
Yeah, it's the red hair, green eyes trope.
Yeah,
made monkey. Yeah, I think the point you said earlier from the critic, where it's just like, if I saw this at 10, this would be my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Easily, nonstop. I would not be about Pirates of the Caribbean. I would be about this ape film.
I saw it at 29, and it's my favorite movie. But, I don't do that for, like, Marvel movies and stuff.
Mm.
You know, because they just shoot, like, colorful CGI lightning. And I'm like, how'd they do that? And I'm like, they shot colorful CGI lightning. They went wiggle-de-woo with their fingers, and they did that.
Kong does enough, like, casual movements that make you, like, empathize with him as a human does.
Yeah.
More casual human movements than the CGI Marvel models usually have.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know how in Pacific Rim there's the boat sword, and everybody's like, oh my god, fuck yeah. This movie is just like, okay, let's do that, but for every shot of the film.
Yeah, every movie's like a boat sword.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And it's like, they show up in Egypt at some random point, and like they destroy the pyramids, which got me worse, I think, than any other like monumental destruction in a movie.
Oh, that was the big one?
Yeah, because I just
they found new pyramids. It's okay. They got new pyramids now.
Well, yeah, but it's like that's the oldest thing that humanity's built that's still standing and whatever, and it's the oldest, biggest thing, and it's
what
just
about
like
the moon? That's where we put the X-Files song notes, okay?
I'll do it.
Thanks. I'm glad every 150 episodes I get one musical call-out.
You can do as many musical call-outs as you want.
Oh, what?
Yeah, here's the music.
Air horn.
Yeah. You want the music from Pyrite Town?
No. What do you do now? Do you take it out? Do you play it backwards?
No, I played it and then I put it in a record scratch.
Oh, okay. That makes most sense. Can you do that one theme from
Go on.
Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, where they're like, you know, it's the root, it's the one roots, and so I'll send it to you.
You can just like do an imitation of it.
I don't remember it. I remembered it earlier this week. I was like, this is so good.
That's a good point. You know, you should send it to me because otherwise you'll.
I remember now. I forgot. Hang on.
Speaking of crystals, inside speaking of crystals, they also go into.
I love when you drop a good segue like that because it's like, well, I guess all that nonsense stays in.
Yeah. But like speaking of crystals, the podcaster guy and Gia, and Karen haircut lady and Crunchy Man, they go into the hollower Earth and find this like enlightened crystal tribe situation going on.
Yeah, it's the Skull Island folk, but they're the inside the Earth folk version.
That was one thing I really did not like about Godzilla vs. Kong was how they just decided like, well, you know, the Iwi tribe, which is apparently like a more generic term than like, it's not like the name of one tribe, it's a whole generic thing. But like, the Iwi tribe, they all died for reasons that had nothing to do with colonialism. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Random storm just happens. Swoopity-boo.
Yeah, and meanwhile they're like, you know, oh man, we gotta protect this tribe. We can't let word get out about them because, you know, casual people will go down to the middle of the earth.
Yeah,
in the middle of the earth, and go through a big cocoon past the giant fighting lizards.
Right. Well, that's the other thing is there's many Kongs. Mm-hmm. Only one Godzilla, I think.
Yeah. This I think this other lizard is kind of the closest we'll get.
Yeah, Ice Godzilla was definitely there.
Which he rode at some point and looked like the worst like skateboard ever.
Well, they gendered her female multiple times, which makes it so that like, so also in this movie, Mothra is resurrected.
Mothra is back.
Mothra, Godzilla's girlfriend. Which I thought about this. I was like, you know, can they all hybridize with each other? And like, what does a dinosaur bug look like if they have a baby? And I was like, Giratina. It's got the legs, it's got the wings, it's got the 6 legs like a bug.
We have an everything goes back to Pokemon route. Go on now. We dug a hole. Well, like a couple episodes ago, and we just keep slipping into it.
Well, I mentioned that earlier, where it's like Jaya looks up at like Godzilla and Kong and Mothra, and it's like she's got her Pokemon team ready to go.
Yeah, and Godzilla returns to his little Pokeball stadium after every fight.
But here's the thing: the apes, they got a society,
mm-hmm.
and they've got like the villain is just like he shows up and he's like slouching on the chair and like. I was doing lines of dialogue for him, like I was improvising them as a joke, and they were all just like so generic, like, The legends were true, I see.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a visual storytelling. You can basically, like, I've heard this one before.
Yeah. It reminded me of when I watched Dark Crystal for the first time recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this isn't that impressive. It's just like a generic fantasy story. I love all the puppets and stuff. And then I learned that originally they didn't want to do it in English. They wanted to do it in like a made-up Thraw language and just let the visuals carry the story. And I'm like, that's why it's so generic, because
they basically repeated over. They dubbed their fantasy language with just the regular words and are not that clever.
Well, Jim Henson was right, though.
He was.
Like, if that's the original script, but just in like a different language that you're not supposed to understand, like, the visuals would have carried the story, because you can recognize just like a generic fantasy story honestly, really easily.
I would sooner like take out the fake language and just have them like, interact. Just have sound effects and stuff like that. That was my big there's a Conan the Barbarian remake in the 2010s. And I'm like, this is a generic fantasy movie, but my takeaway was like, if he like every word, every sentence he says is so pointless that he should say nothing. He should be a silent protagonist, because it's so rare in movies to see that.
Wait, but this could be that.
Okay, so no dialogue, relying fully on that type of stuff.
Yeah, Kong says one thing in this movie.
3 words.
Home is kill. What was it?
His home is killed. That's what he said. His grammar ain't the great best.
He's King Kong.
Home is lost, I think is what he says.
And I just was like, the funny ape movie kind of hit me.
Yeah, it did. He's a good king, as we've discussed in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's... I don't know why Godzilla gets top billing. He always does.
Well, he won the last one.
I know, and he just has a really weird like role in these films, where they're like, all right, bring in the lizard. Godzilla spends 90% of this movie pissed. He's just pissed. He France is like shooting at him because he's snacking on his nuclear energy.
He kills a big crab.
I forgot about the crab.
He fights a giant crab which giant crab shows up on the screen, and I'm like, wood. And then like
he has a tentacle mouth.
Yeah, Godzilla kills a crab. And then he takes a nap in his apartment, which is the Colosseum. He goes to France. He eats a nuclear power station to charge up his beams. And then he goes to the Arctic to kill Tiamat, who is this like big pink Chinese dragon-looking sea serpent thing. Mm-hmm. But she glows pink and he goes blue. So I'm like, oh, it's a gender reveal. And like Godzilla eventually wins, but then he turns pink. So I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure how to extend that joke.
He climbs onto the top of the Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And he does a swan dive.
That's incredible.
Into the Mediterranean Sea.
Well, that was the other thing. I was like, he stole her pronouns.
Yeah. So, great movie. Go see it. And I think No Humans is a tough pitch for some other kaiju movies.
Yeah.
This one can pull it off because it's so late in the franchise. Like, we've disposed of so many humans already. But I think especially the first one relies heavy on the human stories.
I don't know, because like with this one you have like the Kongs all not talking to each other, but they do just kind of like communicate ideas extremely well, and they may as well be talking to each other. They just don't say words out loud.
Yeah, it's a bit of the beginning of what's it, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Or Rise, the one that's second. Mm-hmm. The same name.
Well, it's like they're people, basically.
Yeah.
They're monsters, but they're people.
And I think that's focusing on the
show.
Yeah. Focusing on the apes as in hearing their story would be pretty good. I think it could use a couple more layers of complexity versus one bad ape town. And Kong shows up to Moses them to safety.
Kong shows up as the man with the golden guns.
Which, he's got to get a gun. I don't care if it shoots peanuts or not, but he has to get a gun.
It's going to shoot giant peanuts.
Yeah, he's so close.
He shows up at the end of this movie with his son and Shimo, the ice dragon, who is either his girlfriend or his dog. It's not clear.
He pets her like a dog, so it's not clear.
Well, I mean, you could pet a human to show affection, I think.
I guess so.
It's like,
it's
how'd
tough.
that feel?
I'm not a fan. I think Goofy
I
is
apologize.
I think Godzilla's the Goofy, and Shamu's the Pluto of this monsterverse.
Mm.
So, okay, so focusing on the apes, the Hollow Earth story.
Yeah.
What could be an interesting tale that we can tell in the Hollow Earth?
Hmm.
You know, there was a Skull Island anime that's out right now.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen anything about it, but they need humans.
Hmm.
I think Hollow Earth is a good setting for it versus Skull Island, because you know what you got in Skull Island? You got like a couple lizards and like the one Kong.
Yeah.
There, all the Kongs, all the lizards. Is there? Well, this is an evolution type question. If there are Kongs, are there other primates?
That's a good question. You'd have to, right? Like, well, okay. In real, you got like prosimians, so like lemurs and junk, and then like tarsiers, and then New World monkeys,
Your
Old World
anti-simians.
monkeys. Yeah. You're simians. Pro means before,
Oh.
so before simians and simians, and then you've got apes within the group of Old World monkeys, the catarines, and then you got like within apes you have humans, which is also the.
They didn't really explain where the tribe people came from, did they?
They didn't explain where the tribe people came from.
Huh.
Huh.
I wonder. Well, and they're like psychic.
The psychic people, yeah. How did they get into the hole? How'd
Yeah.
they get into the hole?
How'd they get back Mothra?
What happened in the movie we just saw?
Well, it's funny because I think we just hit the what do you call it, the expiration date for the movie when we just got was it low off our own supply. I wonder if they followed an evolutionary train or they just traveled here at some point in their past.
Well, also, like, there's apes in real life and there's monkeys in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if King Kong's down there and he's an ape, then, like, that's apes that evolved to be big in the Hollow Earth, I think.
Yeah, I wonder if there is a in the same way that we have like our Neanderthal and like other human relatives.
Right.
Yeah, some were assimilated, some were wiped off the face of the earth. I wonder if there's a similar story about the apes, because the Scar King is not the same kind of monkey that Kong is.
Is he?
I didn't think so. He's real lanky.
He's red.
He's red. He's got like a showboatiness. Kong moves like a football player. I always felt like he's got all the shoulder pads on, like, you know, where he's moving more like a gymnast.
Yeah.
He's a dex build.
He's very lanky. He's very, like, swingy almost.
So what does that mean for Kong?
Well, maybe it means there's more species of ape in the hollower Earth, but not the hollower Earth.
Yeah, we just have to keep going deeper every movie. Maybe it's suddenly starting to feel like the Na'vi story, where it's like, let's go to the other side of the planet, and there's apes over there, and these ones have evolved closer to water. And these are closer to fire, people.
These are closer to earth, and these are closer to wind.
Yeah, so I guess it's funny because as soon as you take away language, the story has to be like really simple. And I think that's something that the protesters of that movement, get rid of the humans, are forgetting.
But also, like the Kong technology is not very developed.
No, you mean the fact that they have one axe and one whip?
They have one axe, one whip, and also they stack rocks for some nebulous purpose.
Okay, well, so what's the next? I guess this is an evolution question, or like a tools development question.
Evolution question part 2.
I'm sorry, anthropology question, not evolution. Where, okay, they're stacking rocks to make a big pyramid, I guess. Or a big tower, to show what?
Well, after they build the tower, they're going to start speaking different languages.
Oh, yes, right. The tower will fall, the languages will spread.
Yeah.
As where civilization comes. King Kong will build a big boat to save his son.
And that's it. Look, boats are hard to... It's hard to build a boat that big.
I like that it's like he has his ancestor's axe. So he has to find his ancestor's hammer. That's the next move, right? Hammer in the development.
Sure.
I only know Minecraft rules. I guess he's gonna make a pickaxe go deeper.
Into the hollower earth.
Get ore, start smelting.
Yeah. Punch a tree.
Punch a tree, build a sword.
Eat a sheep. He eats a wolf at the beginning of this movie.
He does. He rips a wolf above his head and covers himself with Nickelodeon goo. Yeah, and then takes a Shrek shower.
I mean, the movie's simple.
Very simple.
Because the communication is simple. But what if the movie is about, like, communication getting more complicated? Like, you set up this perfect little ape society, and it's like, you know, this is Kong's new kingdom, and he's, like, dealing with, like, a people that don't know how to be free because they've been under the tyrannical rule of the Scar King for so long.
I see this. It's very much a ruler's story.
And his wife is an ice dragon. And his son is a weird giant baby with eyes that are too green.
Yeah, I see what's going on here. This is it's becoming a bit of a Game of Thrones situation.
It is.
Yeah, where suddenly the politics of running a nation. It's back to our earlier episode.
Yeah, our slightly earlier.
Yeah, just 150 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Is King Kong a good king? Yeah, like how are his politics in the Hollow Earth? Like how are his policies? Are they made to last?
When we were watching the Iwi tribe people with the crystals and stuff, like I just made a bunch of signs at you, and I was like, "Do you know John C. Reilly? We're huge fans for your health. Remember from Tim and Eric."
Yeah. I hope that they have a good relationship. The tribe and the new Kongs. Because if we're talking about, like, that's part of these politics. It's we all have to live in the same space together. Yeah. What would... So...
Well, they can't show up in the movie.
No.
Because it's no humans.
We're getting very close to a Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes territory. Another movie dropping later this April. Yeah, so I think there's something neat to be explored there in a society of apes. Because they don't know about humans.
Not really.
Does Kong have any human things that he picked up that he'd like to share?
Sign language.
Sign language is 100% one.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Democracy.
Do you think he's going to use his axe now instead of a weapon as a tool? And start felling trees? And building, like, log cabins and homes?
Like Paul Bunyan?
Yeah, like Paul Bunyan.
Like Paul Bunyan. Like, I imagine him just, like, swinging an axe at some trees, and then they suddenly turn into a whole log cabin like a Looney Tune cartoon.
Yes, I think that too. And yeah, what's a log cabin? You need a fire in there.
Oh, do they have fire? They have lava. That's better than fire.
It is, but you can't move it around a lot. I wonder if they have fire. That's like the first... That's very Promethean of you.
Yeah.
Like, is this an ingredient that they have for society? They also need, I guess, shelter is the other one I'm talking about.
They might just, like, grab a hand of lava and just, like, put it somewhere and then just be like, ouch, hot, because it is movie lava.
Yeah, maybe we're thinking too much like settlers. And maybe we should be thinking more like hunters.
Yeah.
Nomads traveling around.
Where's the lava come from?
Inner hollow Earth?
Hollower Earth?
Well, you
hollower Earth. Hollower Earth. I knew that you were talking shit and you didn't think that I would hear it. People hear you talking like that, getting everybody...
Maybe
Hollow Earth girl. Okay, it was gonna take me too long to get there.
Maybe next movie we'll meet, like, the Bowser of the Hollow Earth. Like his actual castle that's under there.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. No, I think they'd roam at first. They wouldn't want to stay in their slave cave for very long. They want to hit the road, travel the dusty trail, and eventually, what causes a civilization to stop wandering?
Agriculture.
Agriculture? Okay. Farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start using that axe to hoe. And it's certainly... Alright, this is a sad question. How long do you think Kong's got?
I don't know, because he's been too old for this shit for the last, 3 movies now.
Yeah. Well, when was Skull Island set?
The 70s.
the 70s, and this is present day.
Yeah.
So he's like, and he wasn't full. He was a boy in that one.
He was
like 20 something.
Yeah, he was like 20 something in the 70s, and now he's like 80.
Yeah, he's like hit 80. He's fully white too.
He does have like the white shaggy beard. He's like Joe Biden age now.
He is. He should not be running for office.
He should not be running for president of the Hollow Earth.
No, he should pass this on to the young next generation.
I mean, I don't know if that entirely works, because that does imply Godzilla is Trump, and I don't like that one bit.
No.
That's like very like, Trump is more the Scar King.
Very much so, yes.
I think. Ghidorah? No, that's way too cool. That can't be right. Trump is like not in the movies because he's a dumbass.
He's that fat lizard that steals some of the wolf.
No, we like him.
Okay.
That's Doug.
Doug.
His name is Titanus Doug. We like him.
So
I've talked about this before, but the Titanus names don't make any sense, because like, how can they all be the same genus?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like they all know the like the Skyrim shouts, the Dragonborn like call, but that's about it. They all learn that from runes anyway. Like that's nuts. Right. But okay, Kong, Skull Island. He's young. Yeah, so he's old. He doesn't have too much longer. I think he can pass on sign language. That's about it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be up to Baby Kong to Mini Kong to kind of run the show. But he's too tiny. How he has to age up pretty fast.
Well, maybe he finds a crystal. And then he ages up pretty fast from that.
Okay. I see you're pointing out that the rules are. You know who should rule in the meantime? Mothra, the great peacekeeper. When Kong and Godzilla get into their scuffle in this movie, who shows up to level the playing field, to like calm everyone down? Mothra. Who's like the one person that the Godzilla will listen to?
Mothra.
And where does Mothra live?
Mothra.
Hollow Earth.
Yeah, she lives in the Hollow Earth. She lives in the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, right.
I think
she puts up barriers with her cocoons.
Yeah,
I think that she, if we're talking about society and anthropologically evolving, can introduce clothing.
Oh,
and fabrics. And that's one of the best ways to maintain culture.
I mean, that's a fun, like, monster rehab for Mothra, who is the monster in this movie who needs the least rehab.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Mothra ever gets out of the Hollow... Therapist, yeah. If she ever gets out of the Hollow Earth and there's, like, a movie about Mothra, like, it'll just be everybody talking about how wonderful Mothra is.
I don't think we have one. Can Mothra be our monster of the week?
Mothra can be our monster of the week specifically, yes.
Okay, great. But yeah, Mothra's great. Yeah. I think Mothra. I don't know if Kong has enough years of being a good king. I think Mothra can be a good queen for a long time.
If she does, she can come back. We've seen it.
Yeah, the eternal queen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and
she who must be obeyed, even.
And her relationship is really good with the tribe.
Yeah, and with Godzilla, her boyfriend, I think.
Yeah, the one threat to peace in Hollow Earth.
Yeah, there was one bit in Godzilla versus Ghidorah, which is what I'm calling that movie, where they just like talk about Godzilla and Mothra, and it's like, are they dating? And it's like first off,
maybe if you were interested in some interspecies romance.
Well, sorry, you said you just activated my code phrase.
What's the safe word for your code phrase? I need my co-host back.
Intra-species romance?
Oh yeah, plain vanilla hetero animal romance.
Oh god, I think it might be the word hetero.
Okay,
it was the word hetero that did it. It was Harry Potter gender reveal party. You fuck. But anyway, Godzilla and Kong, both of them Godzilla X Kong.
I see that as the Versus was the first one. This one, it's them crossing.
Do you think interesting?
That's how I read that. I didn't read it in the slash fiction way that you have.
Well, it's like a fanfic title, but it's like a new empire. Like that's very like a world of stars.
it's funny because it's not. I don't think there's a new empire.
It's the Ape Empire.
Yeah, right, but it's not new. It's been going on.
Wait, does that mean Kong is now Emperor Kong? Is he gonna have
Oh.
to change his name to Emperor Young?
I mean, he's got to send in the paperwork. He's got to get it published in a newspaper somewhere.
You don't have to do that, it turns out.
Oh,
You can get that waived.
okay.
I know that for normal reasons.
Yeah. So Emperor Kong runs this, but it's not new. They've been doing it for a while.
Well, yeah, but a new person is in charge, and therefore that means they can change the system from the inside. It's Hollywood logic.
I was gonna say that's why there's no next movie, because it just starts off and Kong's lounging in that throne. They're back to building with the stones.
He's got the whip.
He's got a whip now.
He's got the whip. Oh yeah, do you think they gave Kong a lizard girlfriend who might also be a lizard dog?
I think it's a dog. I
It's
think
a girlfriend.
It's therapy pet, if anything.
It's a girlfriend that you can ride. It's the best kind.
Needs therapy, first of all. Was chained up for a millennia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big therapy.
But also, do you think they gave Kong a girlfriend? Definitely, 100% for sure. Who's also a dog, maybe. And they resurrected Godzilla's girlfriend specifically to Rise of Skywalker them. So it's no, they can't be the gay. That would be a sin if a lizard and a monkey fucked, I guess. Would it?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You're Catholic. Is that in Leviticus?
I see what you're saying. You're bringing
Not hearing a no.
They drop in the hetero partner,
Right.
to make it clean. It's a blink and you miss it thing, but Scar King had a bunch of waifus.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's three apes, three Kongs clutching little babies at one point. They're who the antagonist of the next one's gonna be.
Oh,
the kids of the Scar King.
The brides of the Scar King fucking rocks the title, right?
Yeah. Damn, and I was thinking about it's the scions of the Scar King, the children, but the brides, they weren't helpless. They're just they have their own thing going on. They were the puppet masters behind his reign this whole time.
Yo, that's sick.
Yeah, and they try to usurp Kong. I mean, one is like a seductress. The other one does bombs. The third one is what's a third lady thing?
Okay. So in your mind, seductress, bombs,
demolitions. That's the proper title.
And a third lady. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what a third lady thing is, especially for lady girls. Here's the thing. You don't need to scheme much. You don't need to be the puppeteers behind the throne when all that you do is make people stack rocks and that's it. Yeah. What scheme is
that's
there?
That's a good thing. Oh, third thing is being a doctor.
Oh, good. You saved it.
Thank you.
Yeah. A boy and his father are in a car crash and they have to go to the hospital. Sorry, excuse me. Do you mean hospital? I think you mean hospital.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, well, it's not original. That's a Zakoyama. Anyway.
The prize of the Scar King, I think, are going to be Kong's troublesome folk. And Kong's got to figure out a way to punish people properly. No, he doesn't. Does he? I don't think Kong in any of these films has shown that a penchant for non-death related justice.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
he would throw a bad person into the lava, just like the Scar King.
Yeah, he's King Kong.
He literally has an iron fist now.
He's gonna get an Iron Man suit in the next movie for sure.
Yeah, he's just slowly gonna be. I want to get just more different props, that Mothra came back magically. I want him to have magic. I want to have a wizard that buffs him.
Sick. Well, that's the baby's job.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Baby learn cast a spell.
The baby will be the caster of the party.
Do you think there's vampires in the Monsterverse?
Oh yeah, this was something you posited to me.
Yeah.
They, as we know, that Kongs have fangs.
Kongs have fangs.
And Monarch deals with big Titan Kaiju. Is there anything to say that if there's these tribes that can have psychic powers, yeah, I think vampires are on the table.
Psychic vampires are very on the table.
Especially, yeah. Actually, that would be a bad human antagonist for the future of this franchise.
Oh, that's like, what if when you...
Well, I think, well, that's a whole lot. That's a lot of red tape making a hidden tribes member.
What if when you psychic vampire a kaiju, you start getting, like, bigger? Like, if you psychic vampire Godzilla's like an infinite source of energy, basically. So you get big and start purple. They definitely did the thing from, like, where they saw Shin Godzilla, and they were like, how do we get our Godzilla to be purple? Because that's dope.
Yeah, they definitely did. And it is dope, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say, that would be a good theme for an antagonist, another group of apes. One of them is a vampire. Like, they're vampires.
Vampires. What if it's just a giant vampire?
A King Kong that's a vampire.
We had our giant werewolf a couple of years ago with the What Happens to a Werewolf on the Moon. They get so juiced up on werewolf juice that they turn into a giant wolf and come back to Earth and fight Godzilla.
I think we've fully regressed to, like, just the 10-year-olds with action figures talking about this franchise, and it's good.
That's how you gotta write these movies, though.
Yeah, no, I think vampires is a fine thing to add as an ingredient here.
Yeah.
I think the military should come back with a vengeance. I think they should make more robots to fight.
Oh, should they do Jaegers?
No, I don't think you need them.
Yeah.
Godzilla, like, fights all those battles. But I think I'd like to see human society, if it's sticking around and we're not wiping it off, to actually evolve. Like I said, you see some battle damage on these cities maintained. Like, honestly, I feel like there would be more religious and societal, like, upheaval with these monsters destroying cities continuously.
The religious upheaval stuff, you see a little bit of that in Pacific Rim.
Yes. How suddenly they're calling these creatures gods and worshipping them.
Yeah, the podcaster guy, Bernie, he's talking to Dr. Andrews about this guy whose name is Ghidorah Stan 64 or something.
I thought that person was coming up in later in the movie.
Really?
But, yeah, I did. I thought it was like a shout out, and it's like, you're Godzilla Stan 1964 or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I was expecting more characters. Silly me.
Right. But Ghidorah Stan. So, like, these kaiju do have groupies.
Huh. Okay. And I think... I guess I see why Ghidorah has his fans.
Yeah, because he's hot.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
If you're keeping the humans around, I think that's the type of stuff, that cultural impact would make it good. It's not just automatically reset to whatever the year is at the start of the movie. It's just like, no, our society has been ultimately destroyed by these monsters going around.
Well, did you see the second Independence Day movie?
I didn't.
I didn't either. Where do we go from here?
Is that part of the plot?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think I remember something about that. It's like one of the synopses.
Sure. Well, okay. I think I think it's time to take this film and this concept to the final rating place.
Yes, let's rank our monster of the week, Mothra.
Mothra is amazing.
Mothra's 10 out of 10. Mothra, isn't that part of the song?
Yeah.
That's one of the little songs they sing. They don't sing that in the movie, but I think I heard it in the score. If not, they missed a step.
They had a sting. 9 out of 10 for Mothra.
Why?
Because I don't know how she came back, and I want to know. I want them to... Like, if it's magic, say magic. Don't just have an inscription.
Well, based on my experience with moths, I think what they did was they just, like, left out, like, an open jar of flour somewhere on the table.
Oh, okay.
And just kind of, like, waited for something to lay eggs.
Yeah, maybe that's how it goes. Mothra looked phenomenal, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I noticed in King of Monsters, but, like, the model looks so good. She looks like a gross bug.
I didn't say this in the movie, but would.
You
agree?
I agree that
Got him!
That that's on brand for you.
No, I'm not hearing a no. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
For more
monster nonsense.
For more monster nonsense and more meditations on me having sex with a 50-foot bug, Join us on our Discord page at
Yeah.
www.discord.com/findingmonsterright.gov
If you
///// what's all those points in the URL? Uh-oh, they're spines. It's Godzilla. He's in your computer.
or in the description below. If you like the show, please share with a friend. We're looking for new listeners.
No, we're not.
We like our current listeners.
Yeah, we like you just the way you are, listeners.
And
if getting a sponsorship makes me like the podcaster in this movie, I don't want a sponsorship. Squarespace, Squarespace, you got me looking for a Michaels.
Michaels, the craft store?
Yeah, well, I figured they might have a fountain pen there.
Well, on that note...
No, keep going.
Fountain note? What?
Why do you need a fountain pen, Allie?
Allie, why do you need a fountain pen?
Well, for calligraphy.
Why do you need calligraphy?
Because I'm going to send Squarespace a handwritten invitation to...
On that, join us for our Mothra hymn as we go to sleep.
Close enough.